what does it really mean that the family, school, and community share the responsibility of raising children? Not just that they exist as three different nests, but how they layered together and how do we come together and share that responsibility. And to do that, I use the analogy of a nest, which is carried on throughout the book. In the first unit, I use birds' nests. The second unit, I use nests of social insects and their nesting practices. And the third one, it's the coral reef and how such a vast ocean, how it houses so many different smaller relationships. When we think about our community and how everybody fits in and what those relationships are. One of the features that I use is titled, What's Your Mindset? And you can have all the knowledge, most people would agree that the parent is the first educator. Most people would agree that these relationships are very important for a child's development. But in order to put it into practice, you have to have the right mindset. You have to have a cluster of attitudes that allow you to recognize the complexity of the environment, to be able to appreciate that complexity. And so thinking about the mindset enables students to, or it wakes up that self-awareness within them. And at the end of the chapter, they revisit that to really think about, was there a change? Because throughout the chapters, this idea of mindsets is addressed. If you have this mindset, you're going to approach it this way. The second thing that I'm really excited about is the number of voices that I was able to bring in. Many of my colleagues, students, former students who are now teachers and administrators, the work that they are doing, perspectives of families, things that they have encountered, and being able to reach out to people that I knew, and then through them I got to know other people, and that networking just grows. And I think that is the basis of building relationships and partnerships. That's how it happens, because we are ultimately all connected, but we have to also reach out and be able to do that. And so I was able to learn so much by doing those interviews and reading some of the contributions that people made. Being able to bring all those voices together has been wonderful, including a fifth grader who donated her painting and allowed me to use it for a chapter as well. I did an interview with her, and to be able to see her vision of community and what community means, and those words of wisdom from a child, that really made such a big difference for me, and I hope that it does for the readers as well. Like the feature titled, What's Your Mindset? I have another feature that also allows students to dig further, deeper, and that's called, What's Your Personal Theory of Practice? Long before we hear about expert theorists like Vygotsky, Piaget, everybody else, we have a personal theory because of our experiences. And so in some ways it demystifies this idea of a theory for students, and they're more likely to consider it rather than just have one section on theory and then the rest of the book. That it helps to blend those together. Bronwyn Brenner's Ecology of Human Development is the overarching theoretical framework that launches the discussion. But then at each chapter, a theorist comes in. So the idea is also to help students understand that one theory does not answer everything. You have to build an eclectic theory. But for that, you have to start with that personal theory. So the question is posed, and then you have the expert theory, and then it wraps up with, now that you've read this expert theory, what will you take from this theory to enrich your personal theory? Another feature that I have is titled Windows, Mirrors, and Sliding Glass Doors. It is my hope that when people read these reflections and perspectives from other people, it may open a window into somebody else's life. It may be a mirror held, to someone's face because you can identify with what's going on in that story. Or it could be a sliding glass door where you're ready to walk out into someone else's world. And I think that's another way in which you can prepare yourself to feel good with those perspectives and be able to connect in that way. Put the emphasis on embracing diversity, not just because you want to acknowledge it and it exists and acknowledge that it exists, but to see diversity as something that enriches your own life. I wanted this book to be action oriented, so there is a feature titled Invitation to Act. Little projects, information that maybe they can use as they step into the real world. Try it out now. Another way to prepare them to take that action and do something before stepping out into the real world. I deliberately chose to have 12 chapters rather than 14 chapters in this book. Typically, a class is 15 weeks, allowing instructors to find ways to bring authentic projects in or spend time on discussion, whether it's mindset, theory, whatever it is that makes it your own course. I hope that you consider this book. Thank you.